What's up, gang? This is Ryan Delazizo, co-founder of ResetMe, also known as Cowboy and Cowboy Crypto. This is my first YouTube video, and I decided to come out to a place that I used to come to a lot when I was young, training horses as a teenager. This is my pride and joy over here, Kissy. Kissy, don't go too far. And I am gonna really introduce myself so you guys know me and my story. It's raw, it's unfiltered, it's authentic, and here we go. So I was brought up on a horse farm, born pretty much. I was born on this horse farm in Saint Mathieu de Belay, born in 1978, December 30th, and I was just how some people go to daycare when they're young. I mean, I was put on a horse at 2 years old. My mom was working in the barn, and she would be working in the barn, and I'd be on this horse just walking around the barn all day long. And so I was just I mean, she was pregnant, she was riding horses. I was like pretty much born on a horse, and that would definitely follow me through most of my life. We'll get to my dark moments. In the dark moments, I got away from what I loved. So, going through my elementary years, my high school years, at one point, I got derailed, and I only figured this out actually through deep magic mushroom healings, and it definitely wasn't on the first go or the second go or the third go. It was probably on maybe the sixth, seventh, or eighth. And at one point I just said, I wanna get to the root of the problem. I said, I just don't understand how someone like myself, who was brought up on a horse farm with parents that weren't drug addicts, never did drugs, didn't drink that much, and had their things together, really average family and good values, and how could I get so far and deep into the mess that I got myself into between drugs and gambling and debts and even shady businesses. And with the magic mushrooms, over time I was able to kind of master it with a lot of practice and research and taking online courses. And I was able to go and discover exactly the exact moment of where I got derailed. I was even able to go and find a moment where I got pushed a little too hard as a young rider in the show ring and jumping, and I took too many falls young and at a competition where the horse wasn't ready, and my mom pushed me a little too much, and that would stay with me for the rest of my life. I've always been a little nervous at the big jumps, unless I have 100% confidence in the horse. And the last horse I had that was like that was Alexi. So I discovered that in grade 7 or 8, I was with two of my friends from my class, Mike Ramonti and Mike Brito. Matthew Ramonti and Mike Brito. And we were walking like we always do with a couple of other guys that we know that were in the classes older than us. And one of them was, one class older, 1 year older, the other one was 2 years older. But between Mike Brito and Matthew Ramonti, they were very close to the Coburn family. And so, I mean, you have the Brito family, the Coburn family, the Ramonti family. They were all very close, all lived within minutes of each other, walking distance pretty much. And, I was always hanging around with them. And one day, Colin just turned around and he says, "Ryan, what are you doing here? Nobody wants you." And I remember it very clearly, and he doesn't, which is okay, but I do. And I thought he was joking. And then he said it again. And Mike and Matt, my two buddies from my grade, they didn't say nothing. And they know the family. They know Colin very well. So he didn't step up for me. And I walked back to the school with my tail between my legs, as they would say. And this is where, having a good relationship with your parents is very crucial, because what would happen is I wouldn't talk to my parents about it. and I would go back to school the next day, and I would end up making new friends. And those friends, well, unfortunately, they weren't the kind of friends that you want to have. And they were in drugs. And then I got into drugs, smoking weed, cutting class. And then I saw the potential to make money. So then I made a deal with that drug pusher they were all buying from. And I said, okay. I said, let me deal with everyone in the school. And you guys at the school are going to deal with me. And that's kind of how my journey in the little gray area of my life began. And that's how I got my popularity back, you know. So, you know, when 16 rolled around, I had money. I had my parents' big truck. And the Mini Cowboy was in business. And, you know, just fast forward. And, you know, in between all that, I got into polo. And I was going to the polo around the 13-year-old mark. That was the first time I saw luxury at its finest, Don Pennycook's farm. And, you know, coming from St. Mathieu-de-Belay, I never experienced so much luxury in one place at one time. And I told my grandma, I'm like, how do we get this? I want this. You know, beautiful farm, tons of horses, big trucks and cars, and everything was just so beautiful. I knew I wanted it. And my grandmother says, they're rich. People like us, we don't get that. You know, so, you know, me, I'm a hustler, and I was a kid with a lot of ambition. So that really kickstarted me for big dreams at Don Pennycook's farm, where my dreams began. And I didn't necessarily take the best path, but I had some moments of big success. And, you know, I would become DirecTV biggest hacker in Canada. I would become an elite poker player, cash game player, playing the biggest games around, hosting the biggest games, traveling with businessman Guy Laliberté, co-founder of Cirque du Soleil, jumping on his private jet and going to play games in LA, Hawaii, Vegas, you name it. And, you know, leaving with him 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. And good times, fun times. And, you know, I had my shit together. But I mean, I had some bad habits, but I still had my shit together overall. And, you know, slowly building a family. And, you know, I had my daughter Sarah, was getting responsibilities. And from there, things would start to get ugly, you know. And I would have a marriage with Nadia, cutesy. And that marriage did not last long. I mean, we were together like 10 years, and the actual marriage lasted like a year. And from there, things really started to downspiral. You know, when you don't have that foundation, you know, the home, the family. Once I lost Nadia in my life, I mean, things just really started to downspiral. I mean, that's when I opened up my first vape store, G2 Vape, in 2014, June. And even under those circumstances, I was able to later open 13 franchises or stores, and some of them were franchises, some of them were ours, and from the head office of G2 Vape and head ownership. And, you know, from there I would even start a e-liquid brand called Classic. And my brother would join me eventually down the road, and we would travel around the world, and we were selling our brand in many countries. We were dominating the Canadian market. And that's when things just spiraled out of control. Once I hit the international markets and the vape expos, and you know, there was two crowds at that scene. It was the serious businessmen, and then there was the party animals. And of course, I'd fallen into the party animal category pretty quickly, and things just really spiraled out of control really fast. And it was actually Adderall that was the cherry on the top. And I would end up doing a drug psychosis and end up in a psych ward. And you know, my dad thought he was doing the right thing by bringing me to a psych ward. And he quickly realized, as did the rest of my family, that this was no place for someone to heal. And, you know, doing my internal investigation once I was in a state to do so. Speaking with other people there was no one there that I found under 4 visits of 31 days that was a suicide patient. And they tried to break me. I mean, they strapped me to beds multiple times, and they kept me there all night unattended. And you know, you would pee yourself multiple times. They put me under these vents blowing cold air on me. I got sick. And you know, we had the Miller Thompson law firm under working for us under a retainer for G2 Vape and Classic. And you know, my parents had them go in and bring this to court. And you know, the judge, as much as he wanted me out, he said the system was kind of broken, didn't give him much playroom, and he just felt that, of course, that day they gave me new pills and they made me look like a full-blown junkie. So that judge thought, didn't think too much of me that day. So it's a trap. It's a trap that it's designed to keep you under their wand, you know, like you're not gonna heal there. I mean, I'm just unbreakable, you know. Now, how many people are like me? Sure, there's others. Have they told their story? I'm sure many don't. And like I said, like if there's 1% that are able to do what I did to come out of there and then be able to make a comeback and then willing to share the story, I mean, you're talking about 1% and then what, 1% of the 1%? So there's not many people there that are going to come tell that story. And, you know, that was just the beginning. I mean, from there, you know, things got messy because then I got into massive financial troubles. And I ended up losing everything, you know, like my companies, my assets, condo, house, toys, skidoos, everything was just going. And then you go into depression, and then you're out of the psych ward, and then you're not on any, you're trying to get off all the medication, and you're just, it's a dark place. And there was no proper treatment in place for me. And so unless you have, you know, the family with money and the support and the intelligence, you know, to outsource proper support, good luck. You fall victim to the system, and the system is broken, and it's designed to make you under their wand, under their treatment, under their meds, and then you become a number for the rest of your life. And that's why it doesn't work. If it worked, I wouldn't be talking to people that were there 25 times. Okay, it's nice to say that, you know, some people, they can't change. I agree. But some people do deserve second and third and fourth chances, because it is that hard to change. But if you really want it, and someone shows that they really want it, like I always wanted it. The moment I went in there, I knew I wanted it. You know, before that, people were trying to help me, and I was like, I'm okay. When I got in there and I started waking the hell up after about 72 hours, I was like, holy shit, right? And I was like, I gotta get out of here, okay? Like, I gotta get out of here, and I gotta get my shit together. And it wasn't so easy. I mean, I came out of there was relapses. And then one thing would lead to another, and then you start getting pretty damn clean from all the drugs. And then what happens? You know, you start getting sick inside your body. That's where it led to the Crohn's disease. And let me tell you, man, not fun. Like 8 visits to the hospital, 31 total days in the hospital, because it would then lead into problems with my lungs. What if it was between the treatment they gave me for the Crohn's, or if it was just something that spread? But hey, 31 total days, 8 visits to the emergency. At the end, I couldn't breathe. I was in intensive care 5 days. I'm 46 years old. I was in relatively good shape. What's going on? Knowing they were diagnosing me with ammonia in the beginning. I went from ammonia to being rushed, transported to a Shum hospital where they specialize in lungs. And an emergency biopsy in my lungs so that they could figure out what the hell was going on, because no one knew what was going on. A rare case. And when the biopsy came back, they were trying to tell me it was vape, of course. 90% sure. The doctors were all saying, it's the vape. I said, listen, I've been vaping since 2014. Never had a problem. I said I've had thousands of clients who vape. Never a problem. So how all of a sudden, isn't it ironic, 3 months apart from my initial problems, that you're telling me it's vape? I said, you think it's 90% vape? I think it's 90% not vape. So I slowed down on the vaping while we were waiting the 2 weeks for the biopsy, and I was in the hospital, so I'm not allowed. But I just chilled out a bit, you know, in case they were right by this slim chance. But never did any of our clients, my brother, myself, anyone we know in the industry ever have a problem like that vaping. And they're so misinformed at the hospitals because whenever you talk about vaping, they think vaping is so bad. Well, I vape and there's no problems, and I don't know anyone that vapes a high quality product that's ever had any kind of problem. You want to vape garbage from China garbage liquids, you want to vape things that are mixed in bathtubs, that's a different story. But you buy from a reputable brand, a reputable product, never heard of any problems, only good things. So 1 year and a half following all their treatments, and I still had flare up from the Crohn's. I was still having moments where I had blood in my stools, flat like a pancake, no energy. And at the end of the day, like, it didn't matter, you know, I would do magic mushroom healings and I would snap out of these depressions they put me on. They put me in massive depressions. They put me on prednisone pills and I went in massive depressions, massive. Contact them, I'm telling them, if you're healing my insides, it's at the cost of my mental state. And they're like, no. I'm like, well, yeah. Because I said, I'm not doing well at all mentally. And they go to the clinic. They go to the clinic. Oh, you have no family doctor? Oh, go back to the emergency. Yeah, okay, sure. So, you know, then it was a quick order of magic mushrooms from BC and go back to the healing with the magic mushrooms. And, you know, 1 or 2 sessions like that and you're instantly healed. You know, people, they suffer from depression for years and years and years. They take all these pills. They mask the problem. They don't even get down to the root of the problem. You know, magic mushrooms is going to get to the root of the problem. You're going to get to the root of the problem. That's a guarantee with magic mushrooms. Now, the question is, once you discover the root of your problem, are you going to make the necessary changes in your day-to-day life so that it's not going to come back? That's the big question. Okay, so magic mushroom is not no magic pill. It is going to help you discover, it's going to put you on the right track, and then you need to have a system in place that you have on point. And I had problems with that. I won't lie, big problems with that. And that's why I kept on going back in circles. And my body just had too much trauma, too much in fight or flight mode for too long. And it's not complicated. The body was just a mess between the drugs, between the gambling, between the stress, between the lost nights of sleep, between the bad diet, bad food, alcohol, like just a mess. And when I went for my last colonoscopy, April 7th, that was it. I had done my research probably for the last 6 weeks, 2 months prior to that date. And I was considering very seriously about doing an extended water fast. And I had seen great things about it, about people doing these 21 days, 28 days, 31 days, 40 days. And, you know, it's a lot easier to do an extended water fast when you have fat on your body. You know, someone who is skinny, skin and bones, I mean, it's a different story completely because you have no fat. If you have no fat on your body, then the body's going to start eating your muscles, your organs. So for me, I started at where I'm going to say between 210 and 215 because it wasn't planned. But I mean, my average weight then was always hovering between 210 and 215. I had a belly, I had fat on my body, and I definitely was in a position where I could fast for a month, no problem. Yeah, no problem is one thing. Like science, the science says, yeah, no problem. But to actually do it is another thing. So, you know, I'm not a quitter. So I knew that if I was going to decide to do it, that I was gonna have to go all the way with it, because I don't quit when I start things. I just don't. It's not in my DNA. I don't quit. I fight to death. So when I was in my colonoscopy, and of course I didn't even get sedated because my mom forgot her phone that day to when she dropped me off, and they need to call her when I come out. And because they had no phone, they said, well, it's either canceled or you're not getting sedated. So I said, well, I'm not gonna go fast for another 24 hours. So I said, don't sedate me. Let's go. I said, let's see what the doctor had to say. So I was definitely not comfortable during the time, but at least I got to hear the doctor in real time going through my intestines. And sure enough, a year and a half later, on all the directions and all the injections and all the meds and all of the diet change, it was the same thing. It was, your intestines are still sick, and we believe we need to add more medication to your diet, on a daily basis. And these pills here, they work very well. However, we have to be monitored very closely because there's negative effects, side effects. I said, okay. I said, I'm not interested in any more medication, to tell you the truth. I said, there's got to be another way. And she's like, well, but both the Shum Hospital and here in St. Hyacinthe, we both feel you should. So I said, she says, I'm going to start off by sending you for blood tests, because that's the first step, because we can't just give you this pill. We need to see where everything's at. So, okay. Walk out of there, and my mind was made up. The moment I got on my feet again, I said, I've had it. I'm done with it. I said, I've been rung through the psych ward system, and they sent me in a full-blown depression, suicide thoughts for 3 months. And I said, now these guys over here, the same thing. They put me in depressions. They never heal me. More meds. I said, no, I'm done with them, and I am going to trust that the human body can heal itself naturally, completely naturally. So, I had some things going on that were never helping me, and I was, trading crypto, the stress with that. So when I decided to fast, it was just get up, take walks, do barn chores, ride my horse, go to the gym, light workouts, and take naps, and drink lots of water, take my electrolytes. After day 7, I start taking some extra supplements that I'll be sharing down the road for anyone who's interested in doing something like this. Not for everyone, and not everyone probably needs it. But if you are dealing with massive issues, like I was, massive anxiety, massive stress, this deregulates the whole body. Stress and anxiety is the root of the problem. And can you imagine that these doctors that go to university for years and years, not one doctor out of 8 doctors I've seen between 2 hospitals ever asked me, Ryan, do you have any stress in your life? What do you do for a living? They never asked me these questions. So when I went to see the doctor the last time, after now I did my fast. Okay, I did my fast. Okay, and let me tell you, we're gonna have more conversations on that for sure. And it was hell, and I was tested like never tested before. Day 24, fever, massive fever. 1 day, 2 days, day 3, I'm freaking out because I said, I don't feel like I've been totally healed. However, at the same token, at a certain point, I cannot be not eating and having a fever that continues for much more than 3 days. And I was ready to break. And then I thought about it. I said, I come this far. I said my goal was a month. For me, a month, it's 28 days, not a day less. And I said, they're gonna have to come with an ambulance to take me out of here. I'm not stopping. I'm not going. You know what I mean? And I'm happy I did, because, like I said, my fast started April 7th. May 4th, laying in my bed, I was reborn. This video is gone a lot longer. You can see, that's why I have to make That's why I have to make the professional video with Elio Productions. And this is just a little teaser for what you can expect. Like, I'm going to be touching on all these subjects in details. This is just a little teaser, not scripted, right off the top of my head with my horse in the mountains, looking for support from my believers. For some reason, my immediate family, my mom, my dad, my brother, they can't find a way to help me. I don't understand why. I mean, I have a huge inheritance, like on the table, like that could be used as like collateral. You know, like there's people that have money, and I'm like, I'm not asking for no crazy amount of money. I'm like, I need $6,000 to go film this video. And I said, I got all kinds of ideas after, but I said the first step is let me go film the video. Let me get that out of the way. From there, then we make the next plan of attack. But I said it takes $6,000 for me to go get the chalet and film the video professionally. Why am I going to put in all the work and film it off a camera like this, and I'm also just do it from home like this now? I want it done professionally. I want it done with Ellie Productions. I want to be able to talk back and forth. What's so hard to complicate? What's so complicated? $6,000. Does my family not remember? I took $5,000 two times in my life, and I became millionaire with $5,000. Now there's something that I'm passionate about, something that I have a calling for. I mean, like, that's why the universe is giving me everything I want, and that's why I know the universe is just a question of time. I'm going to get more than I could ever dream of. That's what's going to happen in the end. I've been pushed to the end, I've gone down the path as far as you can go, as far as shit goes. And because of that, I took this drastic measure of doing a 31-day water fast. And now people, they see me and they're like, he's on drugs. I'm on drugs? Hello? Yeah, I'll tell you what drug I'm on. It's called being high on life. Yeah, high on life. Maybe I was mind fucking some of you people out there before. No, it's called high on life. I'm back. Look, I'm back over here where I used to ride my horses. I'm back to who I am. I'm having fun. I used to be a guy that used to joke around a lot. People are taking my Friday the 13th out of context with a knife. I'm playing around, but I guess it worked because I was trying to jab people, because I had people getting back to me. My brother, he's telling me, hey man, there's a lot of people reaching out to me. They think that they're asking if you're okay, if you need help. I'm like, do I need help? I don't need no help. Maybe they need help. I see a lot of people in that gang. They don't look too healthy. Not at all. They used to be athletes. They don't look like athletes anymore. I'm in better shape than them, and I used to be a fat pig. So I think they need help. And I wanted to see who was going to reach out to me. No one reached out from there. Nobody. Okay? I was playing mindfuck games. Now they're going to see the professional side of me. Okay? No more now the crazy cowboy, because the crazy cowboy, I was doing savage mode. What do you think? I'm getting smacked. I'm hitting walls everywhere I go. Well, I'm going to be soft. I got to become savage. I got to become lion. I got to roar. Well, when the lions start, now the lions going to get ready to eat soon, I think. Because slowly but surely, a couple people are like, okay, so I'm going to go to the chalet. And I'm going to start producing this video. Now, the lion can calm down after the feast. Right? Reset, breathe. And they're going to come back nice and calm, collected. You understand? So, no, guys, if you were one of those people that was worried for me, never been better mentally, high on life, and I'm really happy. I love myself for the first time in my life. And just so everyone knows, obviously, I'm doing this for myself. But at the same token, this is really inspired for Alicia, my youngest daughter. She's been neglected, and the magic mushrooms told me, I'm the only one that can save her. She has the same character as me. She's been neglected by not just myself, the mother too. The mother, she's got other priorities these days, and I understand she needs help. And that's why I told her, help is coming, support's coming. It's getting very close, right, kids? Very close. Say hi. Very close. Okay, and now I need help for people who believe in me. Trust me, I am passionate. I am going to connect with people around the world once I get my professional videos done. I'm touching on so many different categories. I'm talking about child, youth, the upbringing of children, the foundation, having a connection. Just to give you an example, Kayla, my middle daughter, she had a connection with her mom and myself. When she got bullied at school because she had scoliosis on her back, guess what? She came to us crying. And what happened? We fixed that problem. Between Nadia and me, Nadia found the father of that bully. I went and saw the bully of the father of the daughter who bullied my daughter. And that problem was rectified, and no one ever messed with my daughter again in school. Because don't think for a second that the school is going to take care of your kids. They don't. Okay? Nadia called the police. Okay? Had an official report made at the high school. Nothing changed, and I told her nothing would change. I said, you find me the father, I'll fix the problem. Okay? And that's exactly what happened. Okay? Now, Kayla, imagine Kayla doesn't have that relationship. The kind of relationship I had with my parents. My dad not there, my mom not that kind of relationship. Guess what happens? She takes that in the rest, all her high school years. Maybe never has the operation on her back. Who knows where she is today? You understand? So that's a big one. That's the foundation. Okay? And then we're going to be going into all different things that I dealt with, how I was able to overcome these things, and different methods, especially the one thing that I'm going to be really concentrating on is the mindset. It's nice to have a good diet. It's nice to have good training. But at the end of the day, the foundation is the mindset. If you have a solid mindset in place, nothing, no one can break you. Nothing, no one can break you. That's the foundation, the lion mindset. When you have that in place, nothing else matters. You can gain a bit of weight. You can be a little chubby. No one's going to bother you. You're happy within yourself. That's all that matters. It's the lion mindset. So that's going to be my concentration moving forward. But I want to share how bad the systems are, what I had to go through, and I want to make a difference. You understand? I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to build out a facility that can give people a deserving second, third chance, something unique, okay? Something affordable. You know, a way that, you know, donations can be made and we can help people. We can make this place a better place. Okay? So I have good intentions, and because I am laying out my laundry out there the way I am, the universe is super aligned for me. Super aligned for me. I'm going to get what I want. I deserve it. I've been putting in 18-hour days. I've been working on this stuff for over a year. Now I'm going back to the chalet where this all began last year. And one way or another, I'm going to find a way. Okay? And I just need a little bit of support from the people in my circle that believe in me. Thank you.